Welcome to the Deliverance podcast. I am Anthony Medley, the Health Ministries Director for the Allegheny East Conference. And today in our Deliverance podcast, we're looking at the last letter in the 11 letters that spells deliverance, the letter E, which means exercise. Now, it's not the last because it's not important. It's just how the word spells and where exercise really comes in at the end to anchor everything else that we have talked about in deliverance, rooted in wellness. As you know, our holistic health matters to us. And if we're going to deliver people, if deliverance matters to individuals and communities, we can never talk about holistic health and deliverance without talking about the critical role and component that exercise plays in your overall health. Today, I am ecstatic to have with us, not in studio, but she was able to come to us from her own home, the one and only, the renowned, the exercise guru for the last 20 years in the Allegheny East Conference, at least, Faye Gregory. Thank you so much for, in your busy schedule, for being willing to be captured at home, being caught at home, but still being willing to come on and to share with us about exercise. So just say welcome, and then we'll get going from there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Medley. I am just so ecstatic and happy to be here. I welcome the opportunity. Welcome everyone to this session.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So as you know, Faye, today we're talking about exercise, that critical component in the holistic health adventure. Of course, you can't be healthy if you're not exercising. But when we think about exercising for an individual who um, doesn't gravitate to exercise or really uncomfortable exercising or feel as though it's such a daunting task to become an exercising person because they're thinking, in order to exercise, I got to run 50 miles, I got to do all these extreme issues. Could you kind of explain to us, what does exercise mean? What is exercise?
Dr. Medley and members watching, exercise is movement.
Hmm.
Our bodies were designed to move. Exercise is being active and not just moving your mouth, but moving your limbs, moving your bodies. That's what exercise is all about.
Wow, you have simplified it. So you're telling me movement is exercise. You know,
Absolutely.
I saw this book once. The title just struck me, so I had to get the book. It says that movement heals, sitting kills. Um,
Yes.
so is there, when you talk about movement, are you suggesting that individuals can exercise anywhere? Is exercise?
Yes, they can. Dr. Medley, you can exercise from your chair. You can exercise from your homes. You can exercise from your workplace. There is no excuse. The body was designed to move. And
Wow.
I don't mean just a regular body moving functions like getting up and walking into the kitchen or going into the bathroom to take your shower, but just putting in a little more effort by moving around, going out of your house, walking around the house, putting on some wonderful upbeat music. If you're in a chair and you're not able to move around as much, you can still do some exercises from your chair, lifting your legs up and down, marching in place, picking your feet up and down. You can also move your arms up and down, out
Wow.
to the side, overhead. Yes,
So all of that movement is exercise. So
it's
so
exercise.
so you're anticipating my next question for that person who feels like, I've never exercised in my life. I feel like I'm too old. Why, it doesn't matter and so forth. Is it ever too late for an individual to start exercising?
It is never too late to start exercising. Exercising has no age limit.
Oh my.
Jesus walked.
Hmm.
He walked throughout his life. Exercising, walking adds years to your life. Life to your years is what you want. You don't want to have a long life and not being able to move your limbs and be sickly. Exercising will help to maintain your health, your heart, your well being.
Amazing. So let me give you the other extreme then.
Mhm.
Uh, when is it too early? Is there anything such thing as being too early to learn how to exercise? When should exercise start? Should it start in your 20s or 30s? When, how young can you start an exercise program?
Exercise should start with children at elementary school. They should be getting outdoors, running, walking, learning how to pick things up and put things down. And then from there, as we go through our schooling, your 20s, your teens, it's never too early, I would
Oh,
say.
great, great. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
big question is, so you have
Uh-huh.
motivated us to exercise. You said exercise is movement. So for that
Yes.
person who is just a sedentary person and there really are no physical limitations that they have other than they just don't like to exercise. But they're listening to this podcast today and they're saying, okay, I'm going to try it. Uh, Help someone to establish an exercise program. What should it look like? What are some of the components of exercise, of movement, that they should focus on? Now, we're talking about a person who doesn't have any physical limitations at all. Just
Okay.
that's mentally, they just don't do it at all. So where do
Okay.
they start? They have gotten clearance from their primary care health physician. There are no clinical limitations. There are no medical limitations on what they can do. They've gotten the okay. The only thing that's stopping them is that in their minds, they're like, I just don't like to, but I'm going to try. Help that person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For that person that needs to try, that wants to try, that has committed to trying, I would suggest they start with walking.
Hmm.
Okay. If you have no physical limitations, start with walking. The days are becoming longer now as we're in the spring season. The sun is shining bright. Get out and get some fresh air. You can smell the flowers in the air. All the foliage is changing during the season. So I would highly recommend walking to start with.
Walking.
Most people enjoy music. If you don't not an outdoorsy type of person, put on some music in your home. Get up out of your seat and move your legs up and down. Pick up your feet up and down, marching in place, up and down. Raise your arms over your head. Another wonderful suggestion that I have for you is I have a library. The Allegheny East Conference has a library of Fitness with Faye videos that would
Hmm.
help to guide you
Wow.
from start to get you to a more intermediate level. So you can begin with me.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's unpack some of that. So
Okay.
let's talk about walking. Again, okay, I'm going to try it because,
Uh-huh.
Gregory said it. So we have no limitations other than we're just inactive. Now give me some things that are necessary to really to start kind of a walk-in exercise program, in terms of locations, in terms of distance. Here's a big component, because I see people walking but they're in flip flops or they're in loose fitting sandals and those types of things. And, do you have any recommendation of footwear, of distance, and those kind of things that will help somebody just with a walking exercise?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, you should have the proper footing on, and that should be sneakers or a comfortable walking shoe that lace up. They should
Mm,
lace up. You should not be performing any type of exercise in flip flops or sandals, unless the sandals or an athletic type of fitness sandal that's
mm.
been designed to run in. Uh, as far as distance, I would highly recommend that you start with, for someone that has not been exercising, at least getting up and out and walking maybe perhaps a half a mile. Start with a half a mile for your first week, and then the second week you can take it up to 1 mile.
Wow. Wow.
You know,
So,
getting out in the sunshine, getting your vitamin D and taking that walk. As far as location, you want to make sure your location is safe and
mhm,
you're not walking alone in a wooded area. Grab a buddy.
excellent.
From my Fitness and
Absolutely
Faye
excellent.
videos, Latasha and I, we were buddies, and we always encourage the buddy system. It's always funner with a buddy.
Oh, that's excellent. So you mean
Yeah,
I
helps
could
to
have
make
had
fitness
Latasha,
fun.
Latasha could have been here with you also to talk about this?
Yes.
That's okay. Okay, I'm gonna remind you of that when I
Uh,
see her. So let me circle back and ask you another question because
okay,
in distance. Um,
sure.
how do you measure? Is it really distance or do you recommend minutes? How many minutes for somebody just starting? Is it the distance or is it the minutes? What is your approach?
Okay. You know what, Dr. Medley, I would say that for somebody just starting, let's start with minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with 15 minutes of walking.
Okay.
And in 15 minutes, you can at least walk perhaps an eighth of a mile to a half a mile. That's in 15 minutes. Within
Right.
a half an hour, you can walk 1 mile.
Hmm. Okay.
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 45 minutes, you can walk a mile and a half.
Wow.
And
Wow.
within 1 hour, you should be able to accomplish a full 2 miles.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So for that new person that's starting out, you're giving us some basic skill sets that we need. We got to
Absolutely.
make sure
Yes.
that we take off the sandals and the flip flops and get. You said sneakers or comfortable shoes that lace up. Did I hear you say that?
Yes.
The walk
Walking shoes
walking
that were
shoes.
designed, shoes that were designed to walk.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yes. Uh
Well,
huh.
what about so I guess then walking is kind of a whole body exercise that impacts movement and cardio. What do you would you recommend for the other components of exercise like strengthening and stretching or maybe balance? All the things that you talk about and do. Okay, so that person now is going to walk, but should they
Hmm.
focus on those other areas and what do you recommend?
Well, I first of all recommend that they begin the walking. Okay. So once we are walking and we are accustomed to our walking daily, you should be walking at least 15 minutes a day or longer. Um, you can pick up purchase some hand weights, 1 to 2 pound walking weights. If you don't have hand weights, then you can carry along 2 water bottles with you. And while you're walking, you can do some bicep curls or stop and add a little interval training in your walking and do some curls, raising your hands up to your shoulders, lifting your water bottles or your walking weights. And while you're walking, you can have the weights in your hands and you're moving your arms forward and back,
Nice.
adding a little strength training to that
Okay.
walk. Okay. And again, I'd like to share with you that I do have strength training videos. Visit
Okay.
our Fitness with Faye strength training videos.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
So what about flexibility? What about stretching and flexibility? How
Stretching and flexibility, I also have those videos done,
okay.
completed for you
Okay.
as well. But that's also a very important component. It's important before we begin our walking or any type of exercise routine. You want to warm up. And how can you warm up? You can begin marching in place and doing some reaches across your chest, loosening up your upper back, reaching your arms up overhead. You can also touch your knees and then drop down to your toes, just loosening up and helping the body become a little bit more limber and help you with your flexibility while you're moving. And
I,
then once you complete your walk, you want to engage and incorporate some stretching. You want to
mm,
do some calf stretches. You can put your foot up on your step, lean back on the opposite leg to stretch out the calf muscles, your hamstrings, and so on.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
This is absolutely excellent. So we've gone from exercise being movement, and you talked about different ways of moving. Now you talked about even when you're moving to put music on, and you said marching, but as soon as you said put music on and move, I'm thinking, in your home, you dancing. You got to, putting your legs up and just getting all the motion that is there. And then you
Uh-huh.
segue outdoors. You talked about that in terms of walking, which is great. And so I'm being intentional because I have a big question to ask about exercise and health coming up.
Yes.
But I like these practical tools that you are giving for individuals to follow, especially the scenario we created for that person who doesn't have any medical limitations and has to move. Uh, I'm also concerned as you would talk about the strengthening and also the issue of flexibility and stretching. There seems to be, especially as individuals get older, a concern about falling and balancing and so forth. Uh, do you have any recommendations in the movement about how to maintain balance? And are there exercises to prevent a loss of balance or falls and so forth? What do you recommend for senior individuals when it comes to those issues that create such dynamic injuries if we don't do certain things before they happen?
Okay. Well, then I would highly recommend practicing balancing exercises by holding on to a back of a chair. And you
Mm.
could use one of the chairs from your kitchen table or your dining room, or it has to have some weight to it because we don't want that chair tipping over if you're lifting one foot up and trying to balance. What another particular exercise that I like to do with seniors is you may hold your hands on your hips around your waist and lift your right foot up and hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Put your right foot down and then lift your left foot up. And what you're trying to do is maintain a straight posture up and down so that you're not leaning to the right or to the left, falling. And if need be, again, like I said, you can practice on a chair, holding on to the back of the chair, lifting your legs up in place. There aren't any particular pertinent exercises that will prevent you from falling, but there are balancing exercises that you can do to help you with your balance so that you're not falling. And this is where strength training comes into play as well, which is very important. Building your muscles, maintaining your muscles, lifting weights helps to build bone density. And as we age, Dr. Medley, as you know, we start to lose bone density. So we want to make sure that we're incorporating some type of strength training, resistance training, whether it be, i.e., bands, exercise bands, where you can put them on your feet and you're doing some bicep curls, strengthening your arms. You can also place something down on the floor and practice picking it up.
Mm.
These are some things that will also help you, and you want to practice picking it up without tipping over and falling.
Oh,
So that's
absolutely.
what
These
I
are
would say.
excellent,
Mhm.
excellent tips on exercise. And Faye, what I'm hearing from you is that I haven't heard anything that's extreme yet. You
No,
haven't told me or anybody else that in order to exercise, you got to go run a marathon. I'm not speaking against
no.
marathon runners, but you're talking about some practical things that we can do in our daily lives. Now, which brings up another question. So how often should a person exercise? Is it like once a week is enough? Will that cover it? What do you recommend about the routine of exercise? Is it daily? Is it every now and then? Is it just before I go on vacation? Or when should I exercise?
Well, I would encourage everyone to exercise daily. However, if you're just starting and you're little, unsure or have some concerns, at least 3 to 4 days a week, Dr. Medley.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, some people will want to exercise to get themselves in shape for vacation. And then after that vacation is over, they just completely forget about it and stop exercising. Yeah.
Wow.
The American Heart Association wants us to at least get in 10,000 steps a day. We should be walking daily to keep our hearts healthy. And Dr.
Excellent.
Medley, we have a big mission for the Lord, for
Yes, we
our
do.
Heavenly Father, for Christ Jesus.
Yes, yes, yes.
Our bodies were designed to move.
Hmm.
We have one house to live in. We have one body. And it's up to us to maintain and take care of our bodies.
Wow.
Oftentimes, people are reluctant to exercise because they feel that exercise might cause them pain. They associate pain with exercise.
My.
Now, you might feel a little pain in the beginning, but it's a good pain because you're doing something new for your body and it's
Excellent.
going to recognize that. But that will re- dissolve that pain. It'll go away and you'll feel better. You'll have more energy.
Oh my.
You'll look and feel better from the inside out.
Excellent. Excellent. Which leads me to this big question because you're talking about feeling better from the inside out. Uh, how does exercise impact a person's overall health? What are the benefits of exercising on different type of health issues? Can you speak to some of those?
Oh. Exercise is just vitally important for all health issues.
Hmm.
Exercise helps to minimize your stress, depression, heart disease, diabetes, some cancers. There are so many rewarding benefits of exercise.
That's
It just
that.
helps you live a brighter life. And we just don't want to be alive and in pain, Dr. Medley. We
Mhm.
want to be alive and feel good and
Yeah.
enjoy our life and
Yes.
share, how beautiful life is, how beautiful God is. It's just such a beautiful thing to be
Wow.
able to move and to exercise and to thrive.
Uh,
How are we going to be about our Father's business if we are broken and torn down and in pain? It's
mm.
time to put our words into action and move.
Oh my. That's such a powerful statement there. So what I'm hearing from you that is so important is that exercise should be a way of life. I heard
Absolutely. A
a
way of life, a lifestyle.
a lifestyle is exercise, and
Yes,
and exercise is good medicine by itself. Am I hearing that?
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It's good medicine by itself.
wow.
Good
So
medicine by itself.
awesome. So for that person who now is motivated to move, they will understand that it will become a lifestyle and it is movement. I just got to let you know because I appreciate your 20 years of doing this in the Allegheny East Conference, and not just for Allegheny East. We're talking about serving our communities, our underserved communities in the faith-based community, but outside of that also, we all need to move. We all need to stay active, and I just appreciate your service in doing that. And here's a question for you because I know you've done a lot. You do a lot online and so forth. How has COVID really impacted the need to exercise?
Okay. Well, during COVID, Dr. Medley, people were sedentary. You were in your homes, you were quarantined, they were quarantined, we were quarantined in our homes, not able to get out. Some did get out and, you can walk around your house and what have you. But a lot of people became depressed. They began to comfort themselves with food.
Mm.
A lot of people gained 20 to 50 to 100 pounds um, just from being sedentary and not moving. During the COVID time, I was very blessed and thankful to have Charles and Latasha work along with me. And we provided fitness videos to help people at home
Excellent.
to get
Excellent.
moving and exercise during that time.
Excellent.
Now that the social quarantines are off, there's no excuse. So we
Okay.
can't use COVID as that excuse, that, oh, I gained all of this weight and I just don't feel like it. I'm tired. I don't want to think about exercising. Thinking about exercise makes me tired. You
Wow.
have some people, some women who don't want to sweat. I don't like to sweat. Some people don't like to sweat. You need to sweat out the impurities. I don't
Yeah.
want to get my hair messed up. Come
Yes.
on.
Yeah, that's I'm going to
Yeah.
leave that. I'm going to leave that alone. But there was a study done about women and Black women, especially in
Mm-hmm.
exercise. It was
Yeah.
attributed to the fact that when they got their hair did, not done, the hair did up,
Right.
they didn't
Uh-huh.
want to sweat it out.
Uh-huh.
So it would prevent them from exercising, which creates all other kind of issues. Well, look, as we prepare to close this, how, you've done so much online. You say you have videos available, but you also, I believe, have some online resources also. How do individuals get in touch with Faye Gregory and to follow your exercise programs online? Is there a way they can do that also?
Okay, Dr. Medley, I will share the information with you and we can share it with the viewers.
Okay,
Okay, my links and
great.
numbers and what have you.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be excellent because
All right.
I know that there are individuals who have benefited from your ministry, your movement ministry. It's what I call worship in motion. That
Yes.
when you're moving,
Wonderful.
when you're walking, when you're active, when you're outdoors or indoors, that movement is the way we give honor back to God. So it's my worship in motion. And you've
Yes.
been doing this for so many years throughout the conference, not just again benefiting the faith-based community, but also our extended communities. And I really hopeful that individuals will be motivated because of what you are doing, and that they will grow from how much you have contributed to the church and to our communities over the last 20 years. Any closing? So if you now have 30 seconds just to talk to someone about holistic health through exercise, you're on that elevator and they turn to you and say, okay, what do I do now? What would you say to that person?
I would tell them to walk.
Hmm.
Start by walking. Make your movements intentional. Go to Allegheny East Conference and look for the Fitness with Faye videos, my walking videos. I would direct them that way in that regard and just to move. Get out and get some fresh air. Take care of your heart. Mind your mind. You have one body to live in, one life, and you want to add life to your years, not years of being uncomfortable and logged and just fogged and overweight. We want to have happy, healthy years together. Make it a lifestyle to last so that you will be happy and joyful and enjoy your life here on earth until Jesus comes.
Amen. Thank you so much, Faye Gregory, for taking time and for pausing in your busy schedule, for connecting with us at home and really giving us all these important principles that we can carry to have an active exercise life so that we can thrive and we can be delivered, because deliverance is what we are all about. You quote this so well, and John 10:10 reminds us, Jesus said, I've come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And the whole
Yes,
principle here is God saying, I just don't want you to be alive. I want you to thrive. And that's what we want
yes,
for everyone who is following us. We want you to be able to thrive. So thank you for
yes.
joining us for this podcast on exercise, our Deliverance podcast on exercise. Thank you, Faye Gregory, for being our subject matter expert today
You're
about
very welcome. My pleasure. Mhm.
like us. We want you to follow us and to let others know about us. Share this podcast with others. And thank you for being with us. Let's start moving. Let's start walking. Let's stay active. God
Yes.
created us to move. Be blessed.
Be blessed, everyone.